Welcome back to Happy Chappy. So, this is prophecy. Or should I say leadership, control, manipulation. How do we get all that into one in a world that we live in? Is to have the people controlled by a small amount of people at the top who we would call the elite, influencing the people in their consciousness. And so, while we look at it, we're going to make up a story out of it, and you can bring this into your life in a way, whatever way that you decide to look at it. But let's just say, you and I, are the elite. And we have control of the media of the world. We have control of the forces, the armed forces. We have the power to influence the structures of the countries by corporations in funding them. And so we control them with the money that we hold here at the top. And so what's up here at the top is you and I, while we have corporations and governments and all in between who are running the people. And so you and I decide that in, say, 50 to 100 years' time, as we view things in a spiritual way of reincarnation, and how we keep the funding in our bloodline in what we would keep in family, as family would be with each other, which you could see in history, especially in Ireland. You could see the wealthy would be with their own family so they can inherit and what they had left behind in their riches, so it wasn't given to another family. And so this is what happens up here at the top with you and I. So we keep it in our family. Not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but we're just putting this into a story of what could be that you may be able to see. And so we're sitting here at the top. We've got the governments, we've got the countries and the corporations all throughout the world organized with the abundance that we hold up here. And with the influence in our structure that we decide and what we see is going on in the world through the government and the corporations and that, and how they're controlling the people, we want to bring them to a belief in what's going to happen in the world in 100 years' time. And so what we will do up here at the top is set out a story, a belief in what we want, in the way that we want things to be. Now, I want you to look back, taking a step out of this story, but in the story as well, and into life as we've seen it in history in Jesus Christ. How we've seen the Jewish and the Christians came together to get rid of Jesus Christ because he wasn't bringing peace to the world. Yet the peace that he was bringing with himself and the people and where he went to was taking away from the religions. And so it made them look like the religion was fake or false in how it was seen. And so what you see is the power and influence of governments and structure had Christ put on a cross, crucified, to get rid of him. because he was bringing that truth of peace to everywhere he went. But it wasn't good enough because it wasn't worldwide, is what they said. Yet, what was clear to be seen was he was disrupting their religions and showing that they were fake and that they were holding power and control. In the structure as a cult, a cooperation, controlling the masses. And so consciously they were taken away from what Jesus was teaching them. And when Jesus came to teach the people in where he went and brought peace to all, they didn't like to see this because it took them away from their belief of religion. And so going back into our story, we're sitting up here and we want to make more money. We want to make more of abundance than we already have. And so we create a religion. We create a belief. And we create a story. And we put it into a book. And so we have this story passed through corporations, government, countries, and it goes out to the masses of the people down here. And the people consciously take in this word from up here to be the truth. And so it starts becoming the truth. Because everyone in the path of how it gets to the people has brought the story from up here, you and I. And so we've brought that story to the people, and now the people start exchanging the story between one another. And start believing in how the story is going to be. How the prophecy of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen is how we're going to see it. Because we've seen it in how we've read it to be in the book. And so then we start to see it consciously. And it starts to be. While you and I, up above, who have always been conscious, aware of what we've been doing, creating a story and bringing it down through the governments and corporations and the countries to spread around the masses of the people, consciously have infected the people with a hypnosis of their consciousness, bringing it to a belief. And so everything that we've planned that happens in our story, we guide the forces of government, corporations, countries to attack one another, to incorporate what we've designed it to do. And so then we are never looked at up here in what we do, but the structure of the book and the people that they read to and read from in the book that they see is the truth to be, not seeing that it was designed from you and me. Away up here where the people can't see. Caught in the illusion of the countries, the corporations, the owners of all up here above the people, that brings out the book for them to see. And so when they start seeing these things happening in the book around all that they see, they make it to believe that it's a prophecy in what you see. Or the people see. As you and I are the ones who had seen it up here and created it for it to be. So we created that book to pass down for all to see. And so 100 years comes and the prophecies start coming through between all the people in their consciousness of that hypnosis that was created in the book that all would see. And through the word that would come from that book in all who they be. Creating it in consciousness, in that vibration for all to see. As we play the game up at the top, structuring it into that framework that we created for all to see. And so then you begin to see prophecy coming into place as we have the start and we bring round that loop of energy in life, in creation. And so it circulates round and round and round, and all that you see is the prophecy in everything that you see. As it's created, as you and I created up here through how life is in creation. And so once there's thought, feeling and motion put into action, then it can be. And as we thought about it up here and we start to feel about it, that we create a book for all to see. So they can think about it, so they can feel about it, and so then it can be created in who all it bees. And so then we have a prophecy that is created by you and me and all else who sees that book to be a prophecy. And so it bees, because we created it from the top to the bottom in all that we see and who all of us bees, while manipulated by the power of you and me that was at the top, that created everything for all to see. So how much of it's real? Well, it's all real. But how much control did you or I, and if we are just part of the people, how much did we play in who we were to be, into they who are at the top, to see the prophecy to come to be, or to be in our own prophecy, in creation of what God gave us to see and who we be. By our own choice and how we think and feel, or did we think and feel about what we see? Especially a book that was to create reality in how everybody's seen it to be, between you and me, created at the top for all to see. How much of it's real? How much of it's not? As it's all real, but it's not real in the who you be. You're not real in who you be. While you're caught and trapped into a way of being and seeing things to be, you're trapped in a way of they who are at the top for you to see things to be. While never seeing who you be in the godly consciousness that you have to see, not with the eyes of man, but the eyes of who you be within you. In how you feel about how life is in consciousness, enjoying life, to be in that way, to be in that spirit that's within you, and not to be in the man that has been shown to you how things are going to be. So then you start to see it that way, so it starts to be. Taken away from yourself and who you truly be, in that godly consciousness that we all have to see. And so that's my story. As you and I sit at the top and we create a prophecy for it to come to be in 100 years so man could see. Is it possible? What's not? What's not possible is the question. Well, nothing. If you can think it and feel it, it is possible. It's already created for you to see. And that's why you see it and how you think and feel. And that's how you and I created it from up here for all to see. So is prophecy real? Yes. How real is it? How organized is it? How much is created by what you read in a book that many created for you to see? As the book wasn't written by the Lord Jesus Christ, who it's made out to be and what he said was to be seen. Yet they didn't want you to see who he was and who he'd been and how he went to be in every scene that he played out in his life to bring peace to that place that he'd be with all that he's seen, because it revealed the truth in who all they be, in the power of religion that had everybody fooled in their prophecy, as they created you to see what they wanted you to see. We look at the world today and we see wars going on. We see presidents, kings, queens, whatever you want to call them or label them. And how they're connected, the East and the West, and how we have a center in Israel, and we have the good and we have the bad, and it's all creation. But who is working at the top of all that creation? Who is bringing the corporations together and bringing that wealth and taking the consciousness of people and guiding the consciousness of people through the media and technology? You've got to take a look and see. You've got to take a look and see how much of the prophecy has been put in place for you to see. And how much of what you've seen in history can be in you, in Jesus Christ, in the peace that he had seen and brought to be seen, in who you can be and who everybody can be, which the religion didn't want you to see, is what you must see, and not be taken away by a prophecy of wars and kings and queens or whatever fighting amongst each other, or that's just a game and who they play everybody to be up here. So you see the prophecy is carried out in what they guided you to see. Of course, as usual, this is just my story, my way of seeing things. It doesn't make it right, it doesn't make it wrong, it doesn't make it a truth, it doesn't make it a lie. It just is creation in form. And so I give to you, from me to you, as we sit here and we sit here and we sit everywhere in between. But you must see that in who you be. This is Happy Chapa. Love and peace.